Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sowers, and we're jumping into a premier Kaldheim Draft. Best of one on MTG Arena. Chat, say hello to YouTube. Well, we had something like an 85% win rate in best of three, but it's flattened out to just barely over 50 in best of one. But some of that, too, is me just learning the best of one format, because I do think it's significantly different. I thought we were going to fire off, but we've got someone that's not clicking ready, which means we must wait. Sorry about that, YouTubers. I think I mentioned in the last video I'd been pretty sick. I'm on the opposite end of that, so I'm feeling better, but still not 100%. They probably feel like that because they lose more often and don't necessarily understand, like, how game win percentage and match win percentage work together. So for our pack one, pick one, generally speaking, I would like to be aggressive in best of one. That said, I'm wondering about Maskwood Nexus here, because I think it would be between that, the Pillar, and the Firewalker. I think that's a good idea, Panza. I think we can still take this. You can throw this in an aggro deck and have a late game mana sink. Makes things that carry your tokens. Well, yeah, of course the people that are at the top of the ladder have to say it's better, right? You're never going to see somebody that's like the best at a particular sport be like, my sport's easy and stupid. All right, so we've got a couple directions we could go from here with the Draugr's Helm, which I like quite a bit. I think it's one of the better living weapons. We've also got Moriad of the Frost, which is a card I like a great deal. Although I don't think I'm ready to like take a double color card here. I don't have to play the Maskwood Nexus. I don't have to play the Draugr's Helm either. But I found this equipment to be quite good. Like, on its surface, it's a 5-mana 4/4 menace, and then later you can start moving some of those stats around. I like that quite a bit. If I get to choose, I still want to be black-red. But, I mean, I get to choose. Last draft was a 1/3, so not particularly well. In the early stages of this format, I wouldn't be thinking about Rune of Might versus Binding of the Old Gods. Here I am thinking about it, but I think Binding is still my way to go. I do feel pretty comfortable doubling down on black and seeing what we'd like to pair with it, because Crippling Fear is pretty powerful. We've got us a stack of expensive cards. Will you move over here, bud? No, maybe you'll move over here. Thank you. If you were watching the last draft I did, you watched me first pick Rune of Mortality. We don't have to be green-black to play this Binding. I do think we're kind of quite interested in being black. I'm wondering if we could try to set up some sort of control-ish deck that's like red-black, but not a bunch of 2-drops. There's also some possibility that we could look at the Scald. Like, Demonic Gifts is fine, I'll play it. But let's try to take the thing that'll lead to the most interesting deck. And I think that could be a Scald if black-white turns up. And here's a bit of a decision point for us. We could take Glittering Frost and try to get into some rampy nonsense. We could take a Masked Vandal and have a solid 2-drop and just commit to black-green. I could also take the Firewalker and have that open as a possibility. Am I off of Withercrown? Yes. I'll play them, but I'm certainly not 5th picking one of them. I haven't done a multicolor nonsense deck in a while, and I'd be kind of interested in trying it out. So I suppose this leads to the most interesting thing we could do. I'm just concerned about getting run over, but Let's see where this takes us. Well, it takes us on a path. I like paths. You get path, you get Maskwood Nexus, you do things. Who needs 2-drops? I'll just start casting things on turn 5. It'll be fine. I think that most people will mulligan at that point. It's just lack of lands. So I don't think this deck is going to be terribly interested in the pants strategy because it looks like all of our pants are self-contained. So it's really a question of what we think we want to run. I could see playing Coma's Faithful as just like filler card. It's also a way to potentially get some of these artifacts and enchantments into the graveyard and make the Scald playable. So we can talk. Lifelink's relevant too. We're going to be interested in that because I would like to be able to crack this. So I've kind of ended up in a bit of a dirtily black multicolor deck, which is interesting. Like I'm very interested to see if this can actually perform in the best of 1 queues. I think I've got enough reasons to be playing the Scald, and I think I might be able to make this guy work, but I also feel like we could probably make this work. We'll see. If I focus on the snow-covered swamps from here on out, we could make this into a removal spell. Well, that was very nice of them, Thangarth. See, here's where we could consider a Wither Crown. I'm still not excited about it and not necessarily planning to main deck it, but we could. I mostly view it as a replacement for 2-drops. If I don't get enough 2s, I can just play this in Wither Crown their 2-drop. I've had enough opponents Wither Crown my stuff, and then I just stack equipment on it and kill them, that I don't think it's incredibly useful. But I feel like we've got a solid late game plan of, you know, play a hat, move it around, make a bunch of creatures. We've got a semi-wrath. We just need to fill in this area. That Firewalker is incredibly late. Okay, let's see if we can put that in there too. It's a little worse when you're playing expensive, derpy things, but it's certainly not bad. We could even play way down if we need to. So we've got Battle for Bretagard, a Goldvein pick, and a Deathknell Berserker, all of which are cards that I like. I think this deck could be quite interested in a Goldvein pick. I think it could also be quite interested in another Glittering Frost. I think it could even play Battle for Bretagard. That would be another saga for us to potentially get back. But I think if I take this and then grab, I don't know, 4 2-drops, we could realistically cast all of these things and activate Path. And then again, we might just be playing something a little more red-black focused. Because right now we're playing green primarily for fixing and for binding of the old gods. So I could just cut the Path to the World Tree and the Glittering Frost, look to splash this off of maybe a couple picks, and all of a sudden we're in a very different deck, but certainly not a bad one. Maskwood Nexus and Dragonkin Berserker are at least interesting together. Dwarven Hammer is a pant I can get behind. If we wanted to continue down the green path, we could take the path to we could take the actual World Tree and have both the path and the World Tree. So a bit of a decision point. That does mean I'm primarily playing green for fixing and not for other reasons, and I could get a lot of that out of just the Goldvein pick. So I think we're kind of transitioning into something a little more pants focused, which would be just kind of removing this, probably removing this, and probably just running these cards. So I think I like the hammer here, and we look to just settle into black-red, which it looks like is going to work out for us. I don't mind Egon. I think I also like Poison the Cup quite a bit, so we're going to have to decide which of these two we'd like. I don't know that we're that good at getting cards into our graveyard. It does play okay with the Kama's Faithful. And it can come down and block. I'm generally pretty happy with Egon, so I think I'll take it here. But I could respect taking the other one. All right, we have a Curter. Come on in, Curter. So a couple 2-drops and we're in business in a very different deck than what I expected we'd be playing, but not one that I think is bad. I think we could play 2 Curters. Ugh. I want the Rune of Speed and more picks, but I also want the Firewalker. This is a tough one. I'm going to take the Rune of Speed and now actively start looking for picks in Tormentor's Helms. So I think what I want from here is probably 3 2-drops, a Tormentor's Helm, and another pick. And I think I'm still going to play the Maskwood Nexus. I don't see a compelling reason not to. Dwarven Reinforcements is not really something I need. It's something I could play. So sure, you can come in for now. That is not something I expected to wheel, but okay, late game is all set. So we can even just make this a deck out of a bunch of mediocre 2-drops and move along. You'll work. Even makes Egon a little better. Recruiter I don't think I'm particularly interested in. I've got a bunch of 4s. I also don't think I'm very interested in a Breakneck Berserker. It would surprise me if we find a reason to play a Snow-Covered Swamp, but if we do, we're good to go. I could, in theory, put it in here with the Priest and maybe build a -1 at some point, but... Well, now we're just missing 2-drops and a couple hats. Like, I thought we were going to go somewhere very different, but once I realized I was just playing green to fix for the other colors, I was significantly less interested in it. This would be a weird build to be playing the Priest and the Wither Crown and like a way down, but we could do it. This isn't really the 2-drop I want, but it is the 2-drop I deserve. Grim Jogger would give us some reason to be playing that, so like that's a possibility. But I don't have that many slots left, and I'd kind of like them to be 2-drops if we can get them. We'd probably make an exception for Turgid. Turgid? Tegrid? Turgid? Discard. And find some way to fit this in. Which is probably cutting these 2, frankly. Like, our power level's through the roof. I just don't need that. I've got a surprising number of cards that could crew a Raider's Carve. But I think I might just want this Frostbite. We're short on 2-drops, and this is kind of like a replacement 2-drop. It's not going exactly according to plan, but if I play this Sulphurous Mire, I can fit a forest in here to make playing the Binding a lot more likely. I think I'm going to take this and plan to splash a little bit of green. We've got great late game. I'm just concerned we're going to get run over, but I suppose that's... Explain Kaldheim in one sentence. I've got great late game, and I'm concerned I'm going to get run over. I'm going to try to run people over, but I don't have much late game. The Fumarole would be great. The Firewalker would be great. I suppose we'll take the bad Demon Bolt. And it does give me some reason to play the Snow Swamp, which I was kind of interested in playing anyway, so sure. This just settles up the splash. I think we'd be very interested in a Skull Raid for this deck too, but... Okay, we're doing Jund things. And I suppose we're looking at a Feed the Serpent. Oh, Lord. I'm scared. Give me a couple more 2-drops, please. Because I think we have to play this Priest, and I'm not particularly excited about it. Like waiting till pack 3 to get your 2 drops is rough and best of 1. I agree. I agree. However, we've thankfully been presented with some here, and I am very grateful. I think I like Axgard Cavalry better than Immerstrom Raider. So come on in, buddy. We got us a deck. And Vault Robert. Ooh. Or, what if? What if we played Tegrid's Shadow? I think I might like to play Tegrid's Shadow quite a bit. That's a little greedy. But I'm feeling a little greedy. I don't know that I have room for a skill raid, but I would like to play it. We could ploop this in just to have another snow land, but I don't think I want the tap land. Take a village rights for the size board. They're built for people not understanding what they do, which is pretty nice. And our deck's finished now, right? Like, I think I would still play 17 here. We've got a surprising amount of mana sinks. And if you think of the Frostbite as something early, it'll work. I could consider cutting a Rune of Speed, because I've only got the 1 pick, and it's not like it's going to do something super amazing for us. It's mostly sitting here looking to cycle. I could cut it for that. I think I'm going to cut it for that. Like, it looks like we don't have enough 2-drops, and generally speaking, I'd agree that we don't, but we can kind of use Frostbite on the first thing that gets played. This deck's a little nerve-wracking, but I think it could work. Nexus and Basalt Ravager seems cute to me, too. Like, it's not going to go off that often, but we've got a decent amount of Berserkers. But I think we could possibly do something here. Let me build my own mana base. Because I feel like I only want the 1 forest. Right? Because that would still give me 1, 2, 3 if I ever connect with this. And that should let me have enough of the other sources to be good to go. So we'd have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that would leave me room for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't need 10, I only need 9. So this works out actually quite good on the mana. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 2 so you can search 1? How would we search 1? What's the highest percent winning uncommon you got there last? The last uncommon we got was a Basalt Ravager. Well, yeah, but I can't really think of binding as fixing, right? Because if I can cast the binding, I've probably already fixed. But I see what you're saying. You'd like to have 2 sources so that if I cast it and haven't drawn the other one, we've actually got something to get with it. What's up, Epics? I do remember you. You've got to be a little more PG in your language while you're on the stream. We keep things G-rated here. But good to see you again, Epics. I hope that you're having a good day. I think we've got a good build here. I'm going to take 2 seconds for a potty break, and we'll take this one off to battle and see what we've got. So I'll be right back with you, folks. All right, let's hop in here and see what we got. Good old best of one. Also, apparently the Sweatsuit Invitational this week is going to be Chaos Draft, which means I'm definitely not going to make it to the WoW raid. That's a pretty powerful opener if we can hit a couple lands. I think I like running out the Priest first, but like you could make an argument to just run the Berserker and go ham. Yeah, the set review will be going up on YouTube, but you have to wait 24 hours after you've recorded something on Twitch to put it on YouTube. So it's my intention to put it up tonight, as long as I remember. Well, that makes things a little easier. We'll just jam out the Axguard Cavalry and not have to make that decision. We can run this out after we've got some removal spells out of the way. We are pretty far away from ahead of the curve. I think we're still working on the dance and heroic, but my guild is not a progression guild. It's more of a social guild. We have a good time, but we're not very good. All right, all right, all right. So we could... Yeah, we could. We could jam the Firewalker, haste it, crack it in. We're either going to hit a shock or 3 damage or trade for a burb, all of which is happy. If that doesn't work, I can still play the Priest and the Sulphurous Mire and be able to ploop this later. I had a really good time with the core set events. Unfortunate, well, there's a lot of reasons it's unfortunate. I got sick right before they came out. Like, ideally, I wouldn't have gotten sick because it sucks to feel bad, right? Like, I'd rather not feel bad. But also, if I could have scheduled it better, I'd rather have gotten sick this week so I don't have to play Kaldheim at the end of the format and could have instead been playing that. All right, all right, all right, all right. So we could potentially... I'm still nervous about them just jamming a removal spell here. I think I'm going to go Cleric, haste it, and attack. Dude, I've almost messaged you like 5 times and then seen Blood Elf Paladin and been like, oh, okay. Like, unless we mill Egon with that, that's a pretty good attack for us. I hope they needed land. Huh. It's unlikely they did, though. Have a good one, Epics. Thanks for stopping by, man. Sadly, we do not have Tegrid's Shadow still available. But I think we're still the offensive character here. If you ever have an Alliance tune, let me know. You can come play with us. We could use you. This is not going bad so far. And if I had one more mana, we could haste this and make the thing. But I don't, so we can't. Isn't the Lantern side better? Generally speaking, no. Just one short of being able to ploop that. Lantern side can be better if you're incredibly far ahead. When your opponent has this much life to spare, it's basically going to be like a bad lava axe, right? Like, if they hadn't used the squash on Tegrid, they'd have used it here, and we don't really have a kill condition planned, which is awkward to say the least. Yeah, now if they're at 3, all of a sudden it starts to get interesting. But in that case, where they've got a 5/5 and I've got a 4/5 menace with a good attack, I think we just want to make that attack. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. Because racing 2 for 4 is not my idea of fun. Message sent, though. If we can draw our Binding of the Old Gods and take this out, we've got something. If we can't, we're probably dead. Jonk. Guess they're just happy to get the Scry 3 off of that. That's really funny to me. Oh, I guess I can still do it this way and then get Inga. Because I would name Berserker. This would get -3/-3, which is fine. Well, it's interesting, but it is sort of letting us just sort of... It's basically a kill spell for the Bergstrider, which is fine. Like, that's a wizard, zombie cleric, berserker, berserker. So I can do this, and I'm going to. This makes Inga die first, which is good, and then I can kill the Bergstrider. Like, they did top something, so presumably they've got a good card here. Because I'm not quite sure how I'd beat something like a Linda. But we managed to get some value out of the priest. I'll take it. Egon could be decent adjacent from here. All 3 bottom. That's a good sign. Land really isn't, though. Because they're kind of just one big creature away from getting me. I think we definitely need bind now. I think I've got another Feed the Serpent. That would be nice. Swamp is not what we need. So generally speaking, exploding monocolored decks are not likely to come up in many draft formats, period. My guess is that it would be even less likely in Strixhaven because most of the powerful commons are associated with the schools. So as long as you're speaking about limited, I think Strixhaven would be one of the least likely places to find an effective monocolored deck. Not to say that you never could. Is this lethal? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, that is lethal. So monocolored decks are always a possibility, although they're incredibly unlikely in most formats. I don't think Strixhaven will be an exception to that, because it looks like, after the set review yesterday, that most of the really good cards are actually associated with the schools. That was unfortunate. We were good until they hit the pillar, and then we kind of lost. We've got ways around that, but we also flooded out a little bit there at the end. I think we needed one hit with the Dragonkin and we win the game. So maybe I should have played it sooner, but I feel like they'd have squashed it, but then they wouldn't have squashed Tegrid. I don't know. That was an interesting game. Hot Pockets are way better than Land Pockets. Not that that's like fine dining or cuisine by any stretch, but like, we've all been there. This seems a little better to me. Let's give it a go. Yeah, that's fair too, Iggy. But like, a lot of people will ask me like for first impressions after looking through a set, and I think I can say pretty confidently that monocolor should be significantly less likely here than it is in other formats, and it's already pretty unlikely in other formats. I know some people have done it in Eldraine with aggressive decks, and I did it a couple times in Dominaria, but it was incredibly unlikely. Sorry to hold you hostage, Stream Raiders. Remind me and we'll fire it off after this game. But I think if you're 70% one color and 30% another color, that's not really monocolor, but I do get your meaning. So that's probably a 2/3 or a Jarl. I suppose it could also be a Doom Bolt. I'm trying to think of like good cards I would play in red-black that would show up there, and the 2/3 flyer is certainly one of them. Somewhat reticent to play out either of these cards, but I suppose the Faithful would be the best one to connect. Could be Reinforcements too. If I play out the Faithful, I've got the opportunity to sandbag for a little bit and play Crippling Fear, not naming Berserker, which could be quite handy depending on what they've got. One of these is probably a Demon Bolt, and they're going to kill my Faithful. And that sucks, but we'll survive. If they don't, this will be a good turn, though. Now we have to decide whether we play around Tegrid's Shadow or not, which is an uncommon that they're not particularly likely to have. But I think I still do. That's a lot of dwarves. Shame if something happened to them. Should have been clerics, dwarves. Alright, looks like we found the way. So let us do our Stream Raiders battle. It looked to me like Silverquill was more interested in going wide than like traditional aggro. Like, they really wanted to go wide. They could have been dwarf clerics, but yeah, they'd had to have been elf clerics. I'll redo the intro one day, but I kind of like some of the classic ones. All right, there we go. Yak with the kills, Techno Shaman with the assists, rewards for Lovecraft, Laramathus, Not Marvin, Yak, and Falco. I got a lot of stuff I need to collect, huh? I guess I can start the battle and then collect it so you guys can at least get your units placed. So y'all place your units. I'm going to go collect my goodies. Because we got all this gold and scrolls. I'm going to need to upgrade stuff. There we go. I will fight. Trying to draft Silver Quill, and I'm instantly thinking like I'm going to mull a bunch of hands with those Killians and Humiliates. I don't know what a Killian is. But I have heard that people are practice drafting Strixhaven. Hard draw will be extra valuable. I don't think it'll be more valuable than normal, no. Why would you mulligan again a hand that had a life-linking menace creature? That seems like a hand I would not want to mulligan. Seems quite the opposite, really. We don't yet know the speed of the format, Miklas. Card draw is better in slower formats. So we kind of need to know first how fast we going. What's the speed limit? Once we've determined that, we can start making some decisions. A lot of them cantrip. If you're low curve and have a high number of cards, and a high number of your cards are gold, what do you do? Play a good mana base. Have you played formats before, like Ravnica Allegiance, anything like that? Okay. This will not be as difficult as you think it will be. Oh man, that's interesting. I want to do that. I needed another black, not another red. That's unfortunate. And yet also not that big a deal, is it? I don't want to sacrifice Tegrid. We're about to do it now. What you got? I want it. Oh, I can't have that. That's no fun. Kaboom. This could be the day we break out of platinum. I wouldn't count on it, but it could be. I gotta open this thing, it's bugging me. We can talk. May end up having to cycle Egon, but the fact that you can cycle him is not a bad thing. Doing the thing is often quite good. Can confirm. When to play Throne Unlimited? Basically never for me. I think the Throne is pretty bad. Egon's the side I'm interested in. And they don't even have any attacks here. Like, I can play Egon just to sort of cycle through it, or I can play this and be like, get through my dude. Which they could do with a removal spell, but if they did, and then I drew something like Frostbite, I could get 2 turns of Egon. Because I think if they can kill the Berserker, they're going to do it this turn. Well, Lord of Mercy. We're on stone freaking nothing. I think that means we cycle him now, because they're either able to attack this turn or we're attacking in next turn and getting our dragon. If they kill the Dragonkin Berserker, I'm going to need to dig a heck of a lot deeper than Egon. It's unfortunate. Because we kind of needed that land. I can't really think of anything we could do against all these elves. You know? Neat. No trolls for you. Where'd they go? Don't know why they quit. I was having fun. I was having a lot of fun. Sometimes you play the deck, sometimes the deck plays you. They went to a farm upstate. Step 1, collect underpants. Step 2. Step 3, profit. This is a display of my skill, John. How dare you? Well, alright then. I guess I don't need it that much. CBL needs an update. Good catch. It should be better in just a moment. All of my wins today are thanks to my cunning genius. All of my losses are someone else's fault. I couldn't agree more. I'm wondering about popping this, killing my own dude. There's a lot of options. Like, they don't really have anything great they can swap. I think I just kill this and get in for one. Like, it sucks to have to kill my own dude, but I like the idea of unbinding this, but I just don't really need to yet. Yeah, if we hit a land for Tigrid, that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be most ideal. But we didn't, and it makes me sad. And you know what? We'll move along with our life. I still like the idea of binding this rather than that, but I don't think I can get away with it. Which kind of sucks, but here we are. We have other ways of making you talk. Make sure neither of these are clerics. Not. Here's where I think I like the lantern. I think they don't like the lantern. One more win and we're out of platinum. Today could be the day. Thanks to my cunning genius. Then we're in the diamond mines. Yep. Diamonds, they do nothing. May have to take a break after this one and grab a drink. I begin to thirst a bit. Thank you, Nelson. I don't know yet, news reporter. But I may know soon. Who's a good cat thing? After these messages, we'll be right back. Ager's not a bad one. My dreams of diamond seem far, far away now. Okie dokie. There does indeed remain a path to victory. I guess they're attacking anyway, so it kind of is what it is. Remember these messages? I remember. More eggers. No, I don't want more eggers. What is a derpable afternoon? I think I'm supposed to be racing this. Where'd they go? You can say you were here on the day I hit Diamond Tier 4. I'm a Diamond gamer. Gotta change our stream title. Diamond Gaming. About the same as it did otherwise. Now we got to get to Mythic. All right, I'm going to grab a drink and be right back with you folks. YouTubers, you can fast forward through this part. I'll be right back with you.
Jalokivitulostin menee prrrr.
With Semulin the diamond miner.
And I saw the comment you made earlier. Hey, Nexus, thanks for the bits, man. About I liked the set review, but the only downside was you guys had similar takes on the cards. That can happen when you have good limited players evaluating a set. I do think it's nice to have some cards to argue about. There just really weren't any in this set that I felt like were pretty far out there. The only place I do think we differed some was I think I'm more on the train. I think I might like a pillow to sit on. I think I'm more on the train of undervaluing removal. This set taught me that. Like John said nicely yesterday, that you kind of need either a 2-for-1 potential off of removal, or it needs to be incredibly efficient, or I'm not interested. We did have some differences. It sounded like we did, but then we came down to where do you think you're going to pick this card, and we were actually pretty close. Well, yeah. I think that again goes to respect. Like, I have a lot of respect for Jamie. I think she's a terrific drafter and a good human being. So like that's somebody I'm happy to privileged to work with, I would say. Let's do this Stream Raiders battle. Curse you stupid dragons. And then we'll see what Diamond looks like. Thank you again very much for the bets. Much appreciated. Are we in danger here? We might be. Because we've only got ranged units left. Our tanks just kind of evaporated. I hear you, Dave. It is okay to be too busy to play Stream Raiders. You never need to play Stream Raiders. And I think we still gonna make it. I'm still flinging corn dogs at this guy. I love that they took the time to put the animation that the Semulin Musketeer shoots corn dogs. That one card we got into it over. I remember us arguing about Skeleton Archer versus the 3/4 that let you sacrifice something. And at the end of the day, I think you were right. Blauhorn with the kills, Professor with the assists, rewards for Lazy Jim, Yak, Orcish, Lovecraft, and Techno Shaman. Yeah, we had a few where we would like sharply disagree. All right, let's get in here and see if we can get us a 7-0. I feel like I would like that quite a bit. Could create a rarity tier that would be above Mythic Rare. For the super broken stuff in draft, what cards would be in it? Do I still have to play with them? Can they just be cards that you can open in a pack and I don't have to play with them? Like, if we could shove Planeswalkers in there, that seems pretty good. It would be called the garbage can. I always use Baneslayer Angel as a good example of a bomb in Limited, but like, the bombiest of bombs would probably realistically be something like Pack Rat. Like, generally speaking, if your opponent turned 2 to Pack Rat, you killed it right then or you just slowly lost the game. Pack Rat has to be better than Dream Trawler. I didn't play Theros, but anyone that thinks Dream Trawler was better, I guarantee you didn't play Return to Ravnica. Because Pack Rat was freaking miserable. It looks so innocuous, too. Like, you read it and you're like, that doesn't look that good. I don't want to give them a trade here, but we'll take it if we have to. Exclamation point, explain Pack Rat. All right, fine, you got me. That one's programmed right into MTGO bot. Would you create a bombless set if you could? I don't think I'd create a bombless set. I think I would create a set that had decent removal where you had to decide, like, when can I play my bomb? I think it's okay for there to be good rares. Yeah, like those are interesting decision points for me. Do I play out my bomb first, or do I play out this card that's not quite good enough to stabilize me, but close, and see if they have the removal spell? That's interesting. I can't really crippling fear and get to keep much. I guess I could crippling fear Berserker and then have Egon for next turn and hit them for 6, 7, 8, which seems pretty good. Oh, thank you, Floofies. I'm interested in that. I saw a message from you, but I hadn't looked at it yet. Yeah, I think if I play this and just name... I guess I would name Berserker. It doesn't really matter. It would be pretty good. Yeah, Oko was great and limited, but I don't think I ever saw it. Yeah, I think that's where I got to it with it, Floofy, was I was trying to create a set, and you could create the rarities, but you couldn't really create a set. So it ended up weird. I didn't play enough Eldraine to have bumped into it, but I imagine it was quite good. Oh, heck yeah, Floofies. Floof and I have been, well, I had an idea. Floof has been working on it to let you create your own set based on cards that are in Magic. Because I'd like to create a draft set. I think I could make a fun one. Where we could have synergies, we could have good removal, we could shift around rarities. Yeah, Semulin remastered, I suppose. It's not quite the draw we were looking for, but here we are. We dealt him a lot of damage. Exploding, like, chillax, my dude. Be nice to people in chat. We're close to being able to close this one out. Yeah, I do not think this is a perspective favorite set for me.
Join me in battle.
Okay, well in that case, no harm, no foul, I suppose. Yeah, I like it more than cube. I'm trying to decide if we attack Tiver here or not. I suspect that we do. Although this is kind of giving them a free shot here. Well, what I wanted was for them to double block, so I guess that worked out just fine. Okay, fair enough exploding. I don't know a great deal about programming. So I cannot say that with certainty.
I've let my people down.
That may just be the final piece we need to kill him. They thinking about what to choose? Yep, I can't read my chat anymore. Y'all have fun. Okay. I mean, this isn't quite solving their problem, is it? May as well fire it off now, because that means they've got a blocker. Steamed hams, you say? Yeah, Ham, you've got my interest. I like Ham. Ham's great. That's why there's a Simpig emote. That's not why, but there is. So all I've got to do is open busted rares and uncommons, and we're good to go, right? Maybe we have figured out the format after all. Glad to hear it exploded. These have potential but need land. Got all our late game. That not land. Could use land. Land, please? Not land. Not land make me sad. Land pulls? Pulls land? Land! Can't really do anything with it, but we can cycle this at least. Fair enough, Orcish. Language is interesting, eh? I misread your username, and it stuck with me. This is not really the world I want to be living in, but it's the world I am living in, so we kind of have to roll with it. Oh, good grief. Good grief. That's a bad news. Very bad news. No! Why are you doing this? I do not care for this. Yeah, this sucks. This really sucks. There's all this stuff I was gonna do and I can't. We'll get that out of the way at least. But like, I'm still dead adjacent. So how do we make the best use out of this? I think I'm not too proud to trade Tegrid for that and a Frostbite. Now, if they've got a counterspell, we're not beating anything because all of our stuff's too expensive. But I think trading this, getting a 2-for-1 there, and then potentially binding or fumarolling the bird means we could get stable. Bioluminescence gets it. They don't call it the Nobel Prize for nothing, my friend. Boom goes the dynamite. Nicholas, thank you for buying a sim chair buster. Hex yeah, my friend, thank you very much. This looks like we're pretty close to dead, huh? Right? Because we're taking 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's exactly lethal. And I can't really do anything about it, sadly. It's a bit unfortunate. I'll spam some cats for Miklas. Thank you, my friend. Great way to support the stream. That's pretty good. I have a feeling we were going to lose that even if we had drawn a few lands. Still Diamond Gaming, but just barely. All right, one more for a portion of the marbles. This is really just making sure we get as much gameplay as we can out of our deck, which I think is important. I thought you could fall out of... Can you not fall out of Diamond? They have the rank protection there? That kind of makes the ranks meaningless. Or just artificially inflates everybody's rank. Ranks are meaningless. Let's go watch some TV. Well, given the fullness of time, perhaps, but with a reset every month, that's pretty unlikely, John. But you're ignoring the reward of achieving and being the best exploded. I think it would have to be more than bad luck to fall from Diamond Tier 1 to 4. That seems like a skill level. I've been saying they're useless for years. How about them apples? I made it to Diamond 1. Oh, my back kind of hurts. It's always something. Those of you that aren't 40 yet, enjoy. What's man flu? A cold? Okay. We can do this one first. I could attack with this little dude. They can get a trigger on the Bloodline Protector, but I'm kind of okay with that. Could be a fight spell, too. Like that. They just killed a 2/2. I don't think I want them to have that bigger, but we'll deal with what we got to deal with. Like, this could work out well for us, potentially. I like it too. Majesty? Is that like a pastry made out of wizards? All right, there we go. We did it, Reddit. We managed to get a 7-0, a 7-0, a 7-2 for the YouTubes. So YouTubers, thank you for watching this long video. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. And YouTubers, fear not, there will be more YouTube videos coming for you soon. If you'd like to watch the drafting live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. We'll see y'all next time, YouTubers.